Welcome, folks. I am Jaby Koay, joined by Alexis Jordan V. And we're looking at an interesting video today. It's different. I've been experimenting with different videos on the channel, and each time I do, it seems like the audience, you guys, enjoy it. So I thought, let's just keep this up. And YouTube recommended this to me. This is from Quotes, the YouTube channel. Pythagoras Quotes, you should know before you get old. I enjoy philosophy.
Me too.
So I thought maybe you guys will too, those of you who are enjoying the different kinds of videos on this channel. If you guys haven't already, hit that subscribe button, please, bell icon, all notifications, and vote this up to let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. While you're subscribing and upvoting, be sure to subscribe to Quotes, the YouTube channel. There's a link in the description below for the video we're about to watch. If you want to click on that link, give it the original upvote, and subscribe to them from there. And also, Alexis Jordan V is on the social media. So here we go.
Be silent, or let thy words be worth more than silence.
Be silent, or let thy words be worth more than silence. Interesting. Do you understand that one?
I think so. So like,
Don't say shit unless you got something interesting to say.
yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
That's a more modern way to say
for sure. Yeah.
No one is free who has not obtained the empire of himself.
Interesting.
No man is free who cannot command himself.
Oh, wow, okay. If you haven't conquered yourself, you're not free. I wonder what that's talking about. It feels like that's open to a lot of interpretation.
Yeah, it does,
can be splintering really quickly.
Yeah.
The biggest thing to me would be like conquering your inner demons.
Yeah. Mine was, I was thinking of like me moving to LA. Like, I feel like that was my freeness. Instead of like staying in Florida and going to school, for me to be free was to move.
Gotcha. Educate the children.
And it won't be necessary to punish the men.
Facts.
Yeah.
Big facts.
True that.
Do not say a little in many words, but a great deal in a few.
Yep.
Brevity's the soul of wit. That's the quote. Brevity's the soul of wit.
And your words mean matter when you say less.
Yeah.
Rest satisfied with doing well, and leave others to talk of you as they please.
Don't criticize yourself.
Love it.
In anger, we should refrain both from speech and action.
So true.
Don't judge your greatness by your shadow at sunset.
We both went, huh? I felt like a little dog. Huh?
Oh, because your shadow is much bigger, and so you appear much bigger.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I mean, it basically
That's
sounds
cool.
like don't be full of yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
The one before that, in anger, you should refrain from both speech and action. I mean, certainly action. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, cooler heads will prevail. But if you're Italian, you definitely.
I'm Italian.
Yeah, you definitely do not refrain from speech when you're mad. But you seem to.
Yeah, I try.
You keep it cool.
The oldest, shortest words, yes and no, are those which require the most thought. A man is never as big as when he is on his knees to help a child.
Amen to that.
Let no one persuade you by word or deed to do or say whatever is not best for you.
That one's a little rough. Like, how are you supposed to know, though? I guess it's just be vigilant.
Will
Like,
you say it one more time?
it's a little bit wordy.
Yeah.
Let no one persuade you by word or deed to do or say whatever is not best for you.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's also like, don't do drugs just because your friends tell you to, that kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, totally.
Don't fall into peer pressure. It can be interpreted a lot of ways.
Yeah,
Silence is better than unmeaning words.
I agree with that.
me too.
Do not chase after happiness. It is always in you.
That is so true too. I was thinking about that yesterday in my hike.
Yeah.
Whatever they think of you, do what you think is fair.
That's rough. That's a hard one. Yeah.
Be equally indifferent to blame and praise.
Oh, that's rough. Like with the YouTube comments, you're more likely to like focus in on the ones that are criticizing you than the ones that are praising you, you know?
Unfortunately.
It's hard.
Back
Yeah.
when leaving,
Do not look backward. That's hard too.
choose rather to be strong of soul than strong of body.
I love it.
Above all things, respect yourself.
Being strong of body helps you being strong
Reason.
with your soul. I mean, you know, working
I
out.
feel like spiritually though, be stronger there.
Sure. What does that mean though?
So like know your worth. Know like take care more important of that stuff than to take care of like things that don't really matter.
Okay.
I feel like my soul is way more beautiful than my body.
I disagree completely. I'm just kidding.
Is immortal. All else mortal.
In very few words, it is essentially saying to be skeptical. Because so many people get swept up in emotions and they're not thinking. You know, you got to be skeptical.
Salt is born of the purest parents, the sun and the sea.
I don't know what that means.
Number rules the universe. Declining from the public ways, walking in unfrequented paths.
That's how
Oh,
you...
I love that.
Yeah, and yes.
What were you going to say?
I mean, in life, sure.
Yeah.
But...
You said that's how you... That's how you...
But that's how you end up like James Franco in 127 hours.
James Franco,
James
though.
Franco in 127 hours.
Great actor.
Yeah, but like when he got his arm caught in the boulder, because he's walking off the beaten path, he gets his arm caught between a boulder and a mountain or something, and he can't get his arm out, so he's got to cut off his own arm.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I have seen that, but I don't remember it.
You would remember that.
I feel like I do remember someone getting their arm cut off in a movie. It may have been him.
Okay.
Cutting his own arm off.
Okay.
Friends share all things.
That's important.
That's not true. I don't share everything.
No, that's not a good reference. Friends share all things. Why is that a good thing? Like, what if you're married? You're not gonna share your husband.
Or your wife.
Wife.
Yeah. Well, it depends on who you are. You might be into that.
As soon as laws are necessary for men, they are no longer fit for freedom.
Interesting. I'd love you to try that in court, by the way. The last one. As soon as laws are necessary for men, judge, they are no longer fit for freedom.
Choose always the way that seems the best, however rough it may be. Custom will soon render it easy and agreeable.
Yep. That's true. Yep. You walk the higher path. That's a... God, that's tough, man. I had this analogy just the other day. It's like, I find chocolate satisfying, but if I eat the chicken and broccoli instead, long-term will be more satisfying, and with time, that'll be easier to do, and ignoring the chocolate will be an easier task.
And it starts tasting better.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Like, I love to meal prep, and I always start liking it more.
Okay.
Anger begins in folly and ends in repentance.
Folly, what does that mean?
Lack of good sense, foolishness. Oh, okay. So just lack of good sense.
Okay.
Foolish. Basically, it's foolish.
A blow from your friend is better than a kiss from your enemy.
I don't know about that one. That one, I don't know if I agree with that. I
Because you don't want to get too close to your enemies, thinking they're nice.
Yeah, but a kiss doesn't hurt. Or it shouldn't, in theory.
But it'll make you think they like you when they don't.
It's almost like a Judas reference, but I don't want my friend to punch me.
Never trust a friend who speaks bad of his comrades.
I think about that all the time.
Me too.
Because before you know it, you're the one being spoken about.
Yeah.
This is the biggest thing that everybody in LA needs to learn. You should make great things, not promising great things. Because so many people say they're going to do something and they just never do.
Never do it.
It is difficult to walk at one and the same time. Many paths of life.
Oh, yeah, that's tough. It is difficult to walk at one and the same time many paths of life. I might be interpreting this wrong. We have lots of interests, right? And you only have one life. Like, let's just assume you've only got one life, and let's just assume, like, this is it. There's no, for the sake of argument, irrespective of your religious beliefs, you only have this life, and there's no reincarnation. For all intents and purposes, once you die, that's it. We have no, other than if you want to start diving into faith, we have no science to support the notion that you have anything after that, right? So basically you have to make a sacrifice and go, well, in this time, in this life, in this time that I have, I'm going to give up this over here and focus on this right here.
Yeah.
And that's really hard to do. Like, I find it hard to focus on one thing sometimes because I have so many interests. It's like, you've only got one life though. You got to make a decision. Otherwise your whole life will be indecisiveness.
Yeah. Totally.
You know?
Agreed.
I was watching a Jordan Peterson video the other day. One of the things he talked about is how people who are like super creative, who follow their passion, sometimes are very lonely.
I'm so lonely. For real. Like, it may seem like I have friends, but like, I'm the loneliest person. I do artwork.
Yeah.
I write music. The only places I usually go are to work.
Yeah. And so like, well, when you're following your passion, like dogmatically, staunchly, you end up becoming lonely because it's like it's all about being the best version of yourself, and that can get intense. And whereas other people, they'll be like 80% best version of themselves, and the 80% best version of being a dad or a mom, and then 80% best version of being a friend, you know. And so you have like this triangle of safety.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're just focused on you and committing to that alone, like a marriage to your passion, it can get quite lonely, and you don't have the fallback of, oh, yeah, I've got a partner or I have friends. It's like you're really focused intently on this. And it's like, well, you got to make that choice. I was talking to my best friend about it this morning, and I'm like, Jackie Chan, while he was married and has a son, he is the worst dad. And he openly has admitted that, like, he's not good at being a dad because he's busy being Jackie fucking Chan, you know? It's like he's too busy being the best. Like, that's sort of the path you have to decide. Like, am I going to be the best at this thing, or am I going to be a family man? And that's a tough choice to make, you know?
Power is the near neighbor of necessity.
Power is the near neighbor of necessity.
As soon as you awake, in order lay the actions to be done the coming day.
Make a
List.
Yeah, there you go. Make a list.
Yeah.
Make a list of your.
I need to start doing that again. Sometimes I do it before I go to sleep. Other times.
I think making a list is actually quite effective because it also lets you know how you're doing. I tend to be ambitious with my list and put too many things so that I'm always
I know, and then
striving
you're
for more.
under a little.
Yeah, but
when you're
I do that.
checking them off.
I kind of do that on purpose though, because it gives me something
too.
for the next day. So
That's good.
Ability and necessity dwell near each other.
ability and necessity,
So like you need things to create.
and
maybe.
then you develop the ability for that thing. Okay, yeah,
Time is the soul of the world.
yeah, it's not, yeah, okay.
Be a good son, just brother, spouse tender, and good father.
All right.
Even as truth, does error have its lovers?
That's going over my head a little bit, but I think what it's saying is you can even learn from mistakes and learn from those who might be wrong.
Oh,
You
I
will
see
learn.
what
You
you're
will
saying.
learn more from your failures than from your successes.
I
Is
like
another way,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Above the cloud with its shadow is the star with its light. Above all things, reverence themselves.
That lost me.
Reverence is the word that
A fool
lost
is
me.
known by his speech, and a wise man by silence.
Interesting. Yeah.
Totally.
The person in the room who's silent and listening, that's the one to look out for.
Yes, 100%.
Wisdom thoroughly learned will never be forgotten. Don't
Study
try
hard.
to cover your mistakes with false words. Rather, correct your mistakes with examination.
Yes. I've dealt with people who always try to cover up their mistakes, and it's like, if you just admit the mistake, we'll all be better.
Right.
You know, if you just admit the mistake and try your best to grow from that mistake, you will grow exponentially as
Right.
a person.
Accept it and grow, and it'll be the best thing ever for everyone.
Yeah, like if you're so busy trying to save face, which a lot of people do, including myself on occasion, I try to just admit my mistake when it happens. But if you're busy saving face, you're wasting precious time, like where you could just be learning.
Sobriety is the strength of the soul, for it preserves its reason unclouded by passion.
Sobriety,
Concern
like staying
should dri-
sober, no drinking, smoking,
could mean-
drugs.
Yeah, but sometimes you derive creativity from that, so I don't know.
I know.
I like drinking from time to time.
Yeah, same.
Drive us into action and not into depression.
Which is important,
Oh
though.
wow, that's a good one. Concern
Yeah.
should drive us into action and not into depression. I like that.
Yeah.
Because I think that a lot of us, especially in the States, are so frazzled and worried all the time. And it's like, instead of taking action upon that, we're just depressed because it's
Yeah.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
Friends are the companions on a journey, who are to aid each other to persevere on the road to a happier life.
You'd think.
Most men
kidding.
and women, by birth or nature, lack the means to advance in wealth and power, but all have the ability to advance in knowledge.
Really?
All have the ability, but not the access. I think access is a lot more democratized now than it ever has been, because if you can get your hands on a phone with an internet plan, you've got a computer and you can learn anything. You could literally learn anything. You have so much access if you just get a phone with an internet plan of some kind. Even if it's like the cheapest tier, like you have access to knowledge. But for the longest time, it's like people were just sort of like excluded by class from knowledge, you know? It used to be that the only person who knew how to read the Bible was the priest back in the day.
Learn silence with the quiet serenity of a meditative mind. Listen, absorb, transcribe, and transform.
That's interesting. So the only way to accomplish that in Los Angeles, I think, is with noise canceling headphones. I feel like that's the only way to achieve that in LA because it's so noisy here. Like if I just sit on my couch during the day, all kinds of construction and cars
Yeah.
going by and stuff like that. I've heard something about how if you're next to a lot of noise, like where you're living, your rates of depression go up dramatically.
Wow, yeah.
And so I think I have ADHD or ADD where like if I hear a sound outside, my brain goes there. And so I have to have audio on to block it out. I do think that if you're able to just sit in silence and not be on your phone, not be on Instagram, not have to constantly occupy yourself.
And hiking.
Hiking's good, but like it's
Still noisy.
but like just a meditative practice of just sitting there.
Yeah.
And allowing yourself to be bored, I think can actually be quite good for the mind.
Yeah.
Because we're constantly being fed data, and a lot of that is just like not important, you know?
Yeah.
The great science of living happily is to live only in the present.
That's a hard lesson.
If you can become an eagle, do not strive to become the first among the jackdaws.
I don't know what that means.
I know jackdaws.
A person who is captured by his passions cannot be free.
I don't know if I agree
I
with that.
understand like the split meaning of it, because there's times where I'll think I'm like, you know, I'm just beginning, you know, my singing or whatever I'm doing, just like some other people are.
Yeah.
But it makes me feel like there's moments where that's all I can think about. And until you're there, you're never really fully satisfied.
Yeah.
But then you have to take a moment and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Like you said, to live in the present.
Yeah.
And just enjoy it.
Yeah.
If you cannot have a faithful friend, be your own friend.
Wow.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
Drunkenness is an exercise in madness. No, it's awesome. I don't drink often.
Quotes like that make me want to cry for a second. I'm just like,
I like being drunk. I do it like once, at this point, like once a month, but like once every 2 weeks. My average used to be once a week, but it's gone down dramatically because I'm trying to like get back to Bruce Lee bod. But yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy being drunk.
He who sows the seeds of murder and pain will not reap joy and love.
You reap what you sow. You reap what you sow, yeah.
Legislation should be the voice of reason, and the judge should be the voice of the law.
What a voice, that guy. Just so y'all know, I was playing this in speed mode because like I felt like that would be better. My apologies to the original uploader, but that was interesting. I enjoyed that. There were some nuggets in there, you know. Hopefully you're able to hold on to one or two of them. Like let's say you're reading Sun Tzu Art of War or something like that. You know, when you're going through all that, it's hard to hold on to all that data. What I like to do is just pick a few and just kind of live by those mantras.
yeah, I really enjoyed those.
Yeah, I really like the one about more than the words themselves, because like you could get really freaking fancy and sound all smart if you're able to quote exactly, right? And like that'll really impress a girl. For me, the biggest, most important element or aspect of it is the lesson embedded in the quote. And it's like, if you're able to get that, then I think that's the best thing possible. And like, for me, the one that stuck out the most is the mistake one. It's like, just like, if you just own your mistake, you will learn. You will not only learn, you'll move forward. Like you'll elevate yourself as a person in your soul. Instead of being preoccupied with saving face, like you just grow as a person, you know?
Yeah, it's touching. It makes me want to watch more.
Never
I'm always silent, but not around my friends.
That goes completely against the Pythagoras.
Yeah.
It's like, well, then you take what works for you, you know? What makes you the best version of you. On that note, you guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell icon, all notifications, and vote this up. I'm Jaby Koay. This is
Alexis Jordan V.
Peace out.